package. Better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
When life gets too hectic, it's time to retreat from the noise.
My name's Carmen DePasquale. I have been a retreatant for about 26 years. I came alone. I literally read it in a bulletin and decided that this might be something that I'd like to do. I literally took a leap of faith and I thought, well, let me see what this is about. And if this is right for me, I always felt welcomed even though I didn't know anyone.
Retreat from the noise. Hear God's voice. Go to malvernretreat.com.
So anyone can really feel welcome here.
Are you tired of that dated old kitchen or bathroom? Ready for a refresh? Then you need to give Kitchen Magic a call. They've been transforming spaces quickly, beautifully, and affordably since 1979. From refacing to custom cabinets, backsplash, counters, yes, you can get the kitchen you want now, right now. They're offering 12 months of no payments, no interest financing, with 10% off your remodel. Schedule your free in-home design consultation today at kitchenmagic.com. That's kitchenmagic.com.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Headlines this morning, all focused on one former President Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance, his Veep choice. Locally here in New Jersey, Bedminster, at his club. Big announcement, biggity big news conference, 4:30 this afternoon. So we may break some news here this morning. We'll await that. But he's meeting, from what I'm hearing, he's meeting with many different individuals and expected to make some exciting announcements. That is topping the news this morning. And by the way, in New York, there were these pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel, anti-Jewish protesters. They are hell-bent on disrupting these different campaign events for Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. They're hell-bent on disrupting these events, and they also are fighting through the courts, fighting to have a presence and fighting for their First Amendment rights of free speech, as far as protesting during the DNC in Chicago next week. Before that, we have Trump in Luzerne County in Pennsylvania. That's this Saturday. And then Sunday, Kamala Harris, the Veep, she will be campaigning in the Pittsburgh area. That's on Sunday, from what I'm told, or her campaign will have a presence in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So we're watching all of this as obviously the DNC, their big convention, will get underway. And that is very soon, days away. And then election day, think about this. And I don't know when I have to check when early voting begins, but you think about this, we're less than 90 days. Less than 90 days. It's what, 80 some days? Is it 82 days? Tick-tock. So think about not much time, and that is to the advantage of one Vice President Kamala Harris. The longer that she can delay interviews, the longer that she can hold off on a formal, long-form sit-down interview, the better for her. And clearly that's her campaign's focus right now. They claim that they are, they're going to be at the DNC, that they're preparing for the convention. I know the claim was, well, she's going to do a sit-down interview at the end of the month. That's ridiculous, but that clearly is a campaign strategy, because the moment she starts talking at any length and is asked any tough questions, or even medium, not even a tough question, just a medium type question where it's a follow-up, it all falls apart, and they know that. And so that's why they're keeping her quiet and keeping her away, unlike Trump, who continues to hold these news conference campaign events, which brings me to, let's get to North Carolina yesterday. Trump at one point says, hey, Pennsylvania, are you listening? I love this part because he's specifically talking about fracking. And we've played the audio for you before. Kamala Harris repeatedly in her career, when she was fairly recently, nearly 4 years ago, she was running for president, promised to ban fracking. And so Trump stayed on point as far as that goes, talked about the economy and said, Pennsylvania, are you listening? She wants to ban fracking, and that means she cannot win. She cannot win Pennsylvania. That means she wants to wipe out all of those jobs. He also talked about promising to lower your power bill. For me, it's a PICO bill. Boy, wouldn't that be nice, especially here in Pennsylvania. Again, that plays well because we have among the highest energy bills in the nation right now. We're, at least 17% over the national average. We pay way more. So let's begin with a little Trump for you. And he's, holding this rally in North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina last night.
Kamala has vowed that if elected, she will absolutely ban fracking. She said, I'll ban fracking just recently. I'll ban fracking. There will be no fracking. That means that she can't win the state of Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania is all about fracking. That's their biggest industry. And you know what, Pennsylvania, I hope you're watching because that's what she says and that's what she'll do and that's what she'll go back to. She wants to ban fracking and she's wanted it for her entire career. And we're not going to let her destroy our country like that. We're not going to let her. If Harris gets in, energy prices will skyrocket.
And that's when he goes into the energy prices, and he's promising to cut your energy bills in half. And also fix worrying about the grid. And that's another piece. I've done a lot of interviews on that, right, where we talk about protecting the grid. Because even though, I'm for clean air, clean water, and more efficient energy sourcing. But if you think about it, when we do something too soon, and you think of what happened in Texas, and we could go on talking about the fact that people relied too much on these alternative sources rather than a hybrid approach. And so that protects the grid so that, God forbid, when you have a cold snap, a huge storm, whatever that looks like in the winter, or a major heat wave, and then the grid goes down, everybody loses power, that's when people die. And so we have to put that into perspective and just do the hybrid thing. I would love to know moving forward if he taps Elon Musk, for example, with, as an innovator. Does he announce today or moving forward, does he say, hey, recently I met with the Thomas Edison of our times. You think of, Edison right here in our region. You think of where his home was in New Jersey. And this is the Thomas Edison of our time, a great inventor, a great mind. By the way, locally, educated. He went to college. Elon Musk went to college right here in the shadow of Odyssey World headquarters at UPenn. But does he announce that this will be his invention guru, or idea think tank? I don't know. What do you think the announcement will be today at Bedminster as he holds a joint news conference. Reportedly, J.D. Vance will be with him. Or is it just that he's holding another news conference to point out the fact that for well over 2 weeks, what is it now, 24 days or something, 25 days, where Kamala Harris has not taken questions from the media or held a real news conference? So does he just point out through his actions that, once again, he's open to the media, he's taking questions, and by the way, does he double down and say, J.D. Vance is my choice, I'm sticking with my pick, and all these rumors are bogus? So 855-839-1210, what do you think Trump will announce today during his news conference, 4:30 this afternoon? It'll be during the Zioli show, obviously. Also, Vice President Kamala Harris, and we have this newly resurfaced clip, and we'll play the audio momentarily. Henry Machette. But this is a newly resurfaced clip of when when she was a senator. Obviously now she's the vice president of the United States, a job she has held for nearly 4 years. We have to keep saying that just to remind everybody that she's not somebody who's shiny and new, all brand new, and that we don't know who she is. She is part of the Biden administration right now, and she has been a part of this disaster, whether you look at Bidenomics, the open border, which is, I call it the Southern Crosswalk, well, and even the northern border. We've heard, trouble at the northern border in Canada. But this is a clip of Harris when she was a senator, a Democrat from California, and she was responding to a question. This is the fall of 2019. This was a town hall in Iowa City, and she was obviously at this point running as a candidate for president and promising to close the detention centers, and this has to do with the border. So she would go on to become the so-called border czar. I'm not going to play it again, but you've heard the clips where, all across the so-called mainstream media, they say, and border czar Kamala Harris, and that was why it was so weird and ironic that the media came out and said, she's never the border czar. It's like, well, why did you guys call her that then? But this is the presidential candidate and then Senator Harris, as she was making promises as far as illegal immigration. And she's promising to close certain detention centers on day one if she had been elected president. Now, she never got the nomination from her own party, something that she very quickly got weeks ago. But this is Vice President Kamala Harris, her pledge, her promise to close all these privately run immigration detention centers. And what would that mean? How many of these illegal migrants would then be released? What do you do? So we'll talk about that on the other side. Get your take, 855-839-1210. But listen into this newly resurfaced clip.
Hi, my name's Sally Hartman. I'm a volunteer with the Center for Worker Justice. Okay. I want to know, when you become president, would you be committing to close immigration detention centers?
Absolutely, on day one.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And thank you for your work.
So that's Kamala Harris as she was running for, at the top of the ticket, she was running for president in the fall of 2019, and she has not clarified or cleared up. See, this is one of the questions she really wants to avoid. But the estimates are even mild estimates. You would have tens of thousands of individuals at these detention centers, tens of thousands of them. What happens to them? They would be released. And some of them, we know, thousands are convicted criminals. One of the reasons that some of them are being held right now is that they know that they're convicted criminals or they escaped prisons in their old country, in their home country, right? And so what a horrible idea, no matter where you stand on this issue, to just shut down these centers and say, oh, this is broad brush strokes, and yep, I'm just going to promise on day one, I'm just going to close these up. Everybody go free into the country. And so that clip, I think, is important to talk about the fact that we have and by the way, the border, as you know, the border issue has exploded and is causing many to question her policies. Also, what is her plan? Now, she's promising, I believe tomorrow, her campaign is advertising the fact that tomorrow Harris is going to release her plan. It's like, are you kidding me? Tomorrow? Right before the DNC, obviously. Her platform, her plan. And then she'll do an interview at the end of the month, right around Labor Day, like leading into Labor Day weekend when everybody's, taking their final weekend off. But here she was, knowing that, in fact, at least, 7 to 10,000 of those individuals being held in private facilities, according to all the data, she would have wanted to just release. Here you go. Just open up the doors and let them flow into America. And this is her philosophy. This is her policy. So this is somebody that we need to follow her policy. We need to know about it. And she needs to be asked about it and answer to it. Now, reportedly, she's going to flip-flop on all these issues. But then the question is, do you really believe her? Do you believe these types of campaign promises when the last time she was running, she said the opposite? So trouble for the Harris campaign to try to define her past pledges and how do they pivot from that? I don't know how you get away from it. 855-839-1210. I have a great interview coming up. You want to hear it. So much happening today. Some breaking news. We'll have some more Trump news, local news. I'm Dawn Stensland. Thanks for being here today. Be right back.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Football season is approaching. It's time to get in on the action early this season with FanDuel. They have all your favorite NFL futures bets. I see Philadelphia winning a playoff game this year. At least that's the NFL futures bets. They have tons of them. Passing yards, TDs, rushing, receiving totals. You can do all that. And right now, new customers, you get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. There's no better place to get ready for football season than on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook and official sports betting partner of the NFL. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Are you looking for a place to call home? Say hello to hassle-free home loans with American Heritage Credit Union. Our team will guide you through every step from pre-approval to closing. And with the MyCU Home Connection program through American Heritage, you can unlock exclusive benefits, including a $500 lender credit, cash rewards, and discount when you buy or sell a home. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/home connection to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Not a member? Join today. NMLS 433838.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get your laugh on with me, Chris Jericho, and the Talk is Jericho podcast. We've got Guns N' Roses Hall of Famer Duff McKagan and his joke of the week every Friday, plus regular visits from the hilarious Brad Williams and special appearances by everyone from Gabrielle Fluffy Iglesias, Mark Maron, Dennis Miller, Cheech Marin, Kevin Nealon. If they're funny, they're on Talk is Jericho. So listen to and follow Talk is Jericho now on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Tired of hearing scary ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. We may be able to significantly reduce and even eliminate what you owe to the IRS. Taxpayers should know. Huge savings are now being made available through the Fresh Start program that can drastically reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. Even if you haven't filed your taxes in years or are facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, or under audit, we can help. We've earned over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today. To see what savings you may qualify for, visit us online at TRA.com or call us at 800-511-0379. 800-511-0379. Again, that's 800-511-0379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Free speech lives here with Rich Zioli weekday afternoons 3 till 7 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
I would have loved to shaken the old me and just said, do you know how lucky you are to be alive?
Whoa, slip.
My name's Ed Jackson. I was a professional athlete. I was at the peak of my career, then everything changed.
You're listening to The Mountain Within Me. Are you ready for some? Let's just lower this audio, if you will, Jimmy. You're listening to, this is a piece of an introduction. The Mountain Within Me, paralyzed from the neck down. Ed Jackson defies all the odds. This is something that it just gives me chill bumps when I read about Ed Jackson's inspiring life. And you think about, I mean, my husband is so terrified of heights, he can't even imagine mountain climbing just in general. But then imagine, suffering a catastrophic, almost fatal spinal cord injury, being a professional athlete at the height of your career. And how do you deal with that? How do you move on psychologically, emotionally, physically? And this is the journey following Ed Jackson. Wonderful documentary. I know that right now you can rent and own it starting actually August 20th. This is something that I definitely want with my teenage sons. This is something we would love to see because it just, first of all, it's an escape, but it's an escape into inspiration. Joining me now, I'm so honored to have Ed Jackson here. Ed, thank you so much for being here with us to share your story.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So can you take us first into, when you were recovering, obviously, from the miracle of recovering and surviving a fatal spinal cord injury. And then how do you go from that to deciding, you know what, I'm just going to climb some of the biggest mountains in the world? My goodness.
It was a process. Let's put it that way. I mean, at the start after my accident, I woke up without any movement or sensation below my shoulders. So, and that lasted for nearly a week. And before I was told I was never going to walk again. So my first aim was just to try and move something below the level of injury, and that started with a flickering toe. And then the next aim was to try and use a wheelchair, then to try and stand, and then take steps. and I kind of haven't stopped. I ended up climbing a small mountain a year after I was given the prognosis of not being able to walk again, to try and motivate other people who'd been given similar prognosis to keep fighting, to keep trying. You can only recover to within the scope of your own injury, but you want to try and recover towards the top end. I never imagined I would be in the Himalayas climbing some of the highest mountains in the world, despite still suffering from the effects of my disability. So I feel very fortunate to have got to where I have.
Oh, my goodness. And, as far as your family members, did your wife or anybody in your family just try to talk you out of this?
Yes, to be honest. I think that they've got used to a certain degree, me putting myself in harm's way, having been a professional rugby player for 10 years. It's not the safest sport in the world, but they also saw how much it was doing for me, challenging myself again in those outdoor spaces because of that sense of gratitude, having lost it for so long and having to contemplate life, never being able to move again. I was obviously always physical. It's where I got my endorphins. I was an athlete before, and so being now in an environment where I could push myself again and be outside, I'm sure my mum's not too happy now that I'm sort of hanging off around the world, but also they've seen what it's meant to me, so it's all part of that healing process. And also, we've started a charity now which helps take other people who've been through trauma to similar places, so it's helping others too. So I think there's enough in the positive tick box to argue back against the you shouldn't be doing this thing.
And it's also just seeing, the trailer and some of the video, spectacular as far as the documentary, and seeing parts of the world that I think most people have never seen. So it's beautifully done. How did you achieve that part of, as far as the production? Is this shot, I'm assuming, with a lot of drone footage, or how did that work into it as far as producing the documentary?
Yeah, from the mountain element, the two big mountain shoots, one in a very remote corner of Nepal on the Tibet border, where we actually end up in a very precarious situation, a survival situation, which wasn't to plan, but obviously the scenery is absolutely epic. And that we actually only had one videographer with us, and he had a drone. So the scenery is epic. That does the job for you. But then there's a climbing piece as well, where there was a bigger film crew and some epic drone footage. I think the advancements now in camera technology about how long the batteries can last, how light the cameras can be, and of course drones means the mountains are getting more and more exposed, and they kind of sell it for themselves because these places are just so epic, as you said.
It's beautiful. And I know for me personally, family members with disabilities, even talking about, what it's like to go from being, a physically abled person walking, and then how you're viewed even by society if you're in a wheelchair, how people maybe see you differently, don't see you at all, and don't have eye contact. I hear this from personally from family members, and I know that for you, Millimeters to Mountains, the nonprofit you mentioned, as far as talking about not just healing powers, but making sure that you're making people see people with disabilities in a different light and educating people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm proud to be part of the disabled community. I'm lucky enough to work on the Paralympics. I now have loads of friends with disabilities, and I know that because I was naive to it before. I was a professional able-bodied athlete. I didn't know anyone in a wheelchair, and what I came to learn was obviously most of the people I know who are the strongest characters, probably toughest people, are now people with disabilities. So there is no correlation between the two, and I hopefully can try and show more of the general public that yes, I do suffer from a lot of elements of a spinal cord injury. I'm one of the lucky ones that's back up on their feet, but I'm limping. I'm by no means able. I've got the underlying health conditions that go along with having a disability, like bladder, bowel, temperature regulation, that aren't talked about as much. We touch on all of that in the film because we want to help normalize it. It's not something to be embarrassed about, and it's not doing something, despite having a disability. It's doing something in a way because I've got a disability to try and prove to everyone and educate people that it doesn't change who you are. If anything, it can make you a stronger person.
What kind of reaction have you received? I know that there was a quote here by at least somebody one of the beneficiaries of M2M, Millimeters to Mountains, that I had mentioned, that it was more than a charity, it's a community, it's a family. And so you're creating something, not just this beautiful documentary, which, by the way, famous and award-winning British producer and filmmaker Polly Steele and director of some notable films here, so it's beautifully done. But now you're going on to I suspect, redefine who you are in your life.
Absolutely. I'm incredibly I was on the receiving end of so much support and inspiration from certain individuals during my time in hospital when I was in the dark and lost in the woods, if you like, psychologically. That to now be in a position that I can pay that support forwards, I know the impact it can make. And I'm incredibly proud of the charity that we established 5 years ago and the community that has been created there. And actually, all of the people we help, whether it's physical or psychological trauma, they've become this big support network for each other that's just growing year on year. And we've seen so many amazing turnarounds. And when you know that you've played a tangible part, whether it's big or small, in changing someone's life, talk about a sense of purpose. I enjoyed playing rugby. It was obviously a childhood dream to be a professional athlete, especially in the sport that I loved growing up. But really, I've never felt a sense of purpose like I do to this day. So I feel very humbled by it.
Well, Ed Jackson, thank you so much for taking a little time to share your journey and The Mountain Within Me. What a wonderful documentary. I think for me, it's a great gift. So whether people, just check it out or give it as a gift, it's what a wonderful gift of inspiration and positive energy. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Ed Jackson. So The Mountain Within Me, that's the documentary. And I know the official release where you can actually buy it, own the film. It's beautifully done. It's something I definitely want to see. So thank you, Henry Machette, for setting that up. All right, we'll continue with the Dawn Show, 855-839-1210. I do have some breaking stories and news of the day. Be right back.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
Retired minister Sam Lepore believes you practice what you preach. Phil Cannella and Joanne Small practice what they preach. They too are protected by the exclusive crash-proof retirement system.
If you're talking about something in your life that you want to share with somebody else, if you're not doing it yourself, then you're a fake. And Phil is not a fake. He's crash-proofed. He invests in his own crash-proof retirement system. And I said, that gives you joy. And you can see it in his face. Crash-proof retirement has really helped me to have joy. I'm so excited about it that I cannot stop telling people about it. I was looking at the market and seeing 500 points drop. That's crash. I'm really lucky to be crash-proof.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
If you're looking to furnish your home or replace your old furniture, your journey begins and ends at Bucks County Estate Traders. One piece of advice, make sure you have time when you come here. The 58,000 square foot showroom is a furniture wonderland. Quality high-end pieces with inventory changing daily. It's all here. Mid-century modern, traditional, vintage, antique, and name brands. They'll ship anywhere or you can pick up in-store. Bucks County Estate Traders in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatетraders.com.
What's better than saving? Saving with certainty. Open a First Harvest Credit Union 7-month certificate online and earn 5.25% APY. Visit firstharvestcu.com/online exclusives to learn more about this online-only offer. Want more reasons why we're a better place to grow? Check out our other savings options, like our growth savings account with amazing rates. First Harvest Credit Union, serving the Delaware Valley for over 84 years. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Hey, Clementon. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It's still summertime, even though yesterday we did football pictures. It's the official football camp, and Larry and I, they did the senior pictures, and it's like, so much fun, but we still have a little bit left of summer that we can savor because it's still August. It's still road trip season. But do you know if your vehicle is really road trip ready? My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're going to always make sure you and your family are safe out on the roads. The service centers of the Piazza Premium dealers not only handle all your regular maintenance needs, but they also diagnose possible issues before they happen. That's a good thing, right? Just schedule a service appointment online today. It's easy. PIAZZA, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com, or you can check out the dealer nearest you. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware. There's power in Piazza. PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. Tell them Dawn sent you. And let's talk about what's going on today. There's so much to talk about this morning. My head is spinning. So we had a lot of fun earlier on Kale and Company, kind of guessing as to what announcement. Will there be some exciting shakeup? Will there be a new announcement that Trump is about to make? He's holding a news conference. Now, the actual paper news releases that they released online and all the press releases, if you will, say 4:30 at Bedminster, but I know some of I know Fox is saying 4 p.m., so one or the other, I'm sure that Zioli will take it, and, we'll have that news conference happening. But if we think about the Trump campaign, how often he is holding these long-form news conferences and the rallies, right? It's fantastic. And just showing the difference, the disparity between these campaigns and the candidates. And by the way, you have two incumbents, if you will. You have Trump, who's a proven winner. You saw him in action. You saw what he did and how he impacted change, how he saved or brought back jobs. Pre-pandemic, obviously. But the economy, and some people dispute this. I don't know how they can dispute this unless, of course, they're just adding in what happened once the pandemic struck, and that's not fair to do. And by the way, that's not fair to do to Biden initially either, because of the pandemic shutdowns and everything. So I wouldn't impose that on anybody. But Kamala Harris is an incumbent. She is the current vice president, and she's been part of the Biden-Harris administration for nearly 4 years. So I don't know how she gets away with trying to, quote unquote, distance herself from President Joe Biden. That's her president. This is her administration. So she can't say, do we have that clip where Trump talks about on day one, and I love this. I love that he said this, and he needs to say this every single day, that Harris keeps saying, on day one, I'll do such and such. So this is Trump's response when Harris says, elect me, and on day one, I'll do, fill in the blank, fix the economy or fix whatever. Here's Trump's answer to that.
Kamala has declared that tackling inflation will be a day one priority. Just think of it for her, but day one for Kamala was 3.5 years ago. Why hasn't she done it?
Why hasn't she? Why hasn't her administration done this? And by the way, where's Joe Biden? Talk about MIA. You never hear a peep out of him. As well, I also want to think about this. We keep hearing about these delicate negotiations in the Middle East. We want to keep an eye on that as far as what's happening. So I know in Qatar, some people say Qatar, I believe it's Qatar. But, we hear about these delicate negotiations in the Middle East to bring forth a peace agreement. Certainly the Biden administration wants that under their belt, and that would be a huge accomplishment if they can get this done. But we're hearing, in fact, that it's not going well. And so will this happen? Will something, God forbid, happen where Iran, does retaliatory strikes against Israel, whether it's Iran, Hezbollah, they're all in cahoots, as I say. But Will this happen this weekend or early next week, right when the DNC is underway? Ouch. And then, of course, we all have to remember that Biden, and in particular Vice President Harris, just blew off Bibi. Shame. Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, our critical Middle East ally, Israeli Prime Minister, just blow him off. Got other things to do. That's a sin. What a sham. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is reportedly, naming his former chief of staff, George Helmy, as in a temporary replacement, space holder for convicted U.S. Senator Bob Menendez's temporary replacement. This is for the Senate seat in New Jersey. So Helmy, who is he, if you don't remember him? 44 years old, executive at RWJ Barnabas Health. And this is being widely reported, Politico, New Jersey Globe, etc. But it'll be a brief tenure for sure. He's a placeholder, basically, as Menendez is, resigning his seat in the upper chamber, and that's next week, August 20th. And so New Jersey voters, obviously, will choose between Democrat Representative Andy Kim and Republican hotel owner, and you remember I interviewed Curtis Bashaw, great guy and a political outsider, very moderate, a New Jersey Democrat, or New Jersey Republican, I should say, Curtis Bashaw. So a self-made businessman. He is a pro-choice individual. So Curtis Bashaw, and we'll have to replay that interview. We'll have to get him back again. I think that was right before July 4th that I interviewed him. But obviously, this placeholder situation will only be, about 11 weeks or so before New Jersey voters name the permanent replacement for New Jersey Democrat Menendez, disgraced and convicted. So will it be Representative Andy Kim, the Democrat? Very popular, but he's in a ruby red area, held all those town halls, but he's, will there be an upset? Could there be an upset? I don't know. Yeah, that would be crazy, wouldn't it? But Republican hotel owner, businessman, Curtis Bashaw, somebody who's considered a dark horse candidate, but somebody who's popular in the community and has been praised in the past by even the Murphy administration. So Congress Hall Hotel is one of the hotels that he owns. So we've got that going on. I wanted to get to the story, and I don't know if you guys like the story. I didn't get much reaction from Greg at all. I got a little reaction from Nick Cale. Maybe I'll get more from you. 855-839-1210. This is a story of Judge Kenneth King. So he's a judge who day in and day out, experienced judge, and it's a juvenile court. And so now a class field trip comes into his courtroom. And they're supposed to witness the juvenile court, and then he's supposed to say a few words to them. And this is a wonderful opportunity for kids to see the courts in operation, but also understand what it means to go to juvenile court in hopes of maybe inspiring them to choose a future career as maybe, working in the court system or as an attorney or as a judge or in a law and order type job, whatever that may be. But in this case, Judge Kenneth King notices that one of the students is not very interested in what he's saying. Well, he thinks how could she be interested? She's sound asleep in his courtroom, and he's not happy about it. And so he says, young lady, you fall asleep in my courtroom one more time. Wait, bailiff, wake her up. Young lady, you fall asleep in my courtroom one more time, and I'm going to put you in the back. Understand? So at this point, she seems very sleepy. He perceives that she has a very bad attitude and that her disposition of just not really caring what he's saying is being, maybe he perceives that she's disrespectful. He perceives that she could care less. So he then tells the bailiff, well, you know what? You need to take her in the back. You need to handcuff her, have her change into the jumpsuit, into the jail clothes. And so this then is receiving a lot of reaction. It's happened in a Detroit courtroom. That's what happened. The judge is doubling down. Maybe we'll play a little audio moving forward around the corner, but the judge is doubling down on this and says, look, I believe in Scared Straight, which was that New Jersey documentary, if you remember, about teen offenders and scaring them straight so they straighten up in their lives. And that's what he was trying to do, kind of an old school thing to do. But now her mom is speaking out, and by all accounts, I mean, it's a sympathetic explanation the mom gives. But there are other groups that are some kind of far left groups who are slamming the judge. And then there are others reacting, saying, this is a teen girl. She has some issues going on. You shamed her in front of all the other teenagers, and you didn't need to do that. You went too far. It'd be one thing if you said, could I see this person individually in my chambers with my bailiff and the teacher who's accompanied, and have a private conversation? I think that would have been better, to have the private conversation. But instead, he calls her out in front of the other teens and tries to do kind of a Scared Straight situation. It's not going over well. And even in the Detroit media, big surprise, I mean, they're kind of slamming this judge. He is not apologizing. Some people are demanding him to step down, or he's not. He's doubling down. He's saying, no. Do you know where I am a judge? In a juvenile court where kids get into trouble. And so I'm trying to keep young ladies like this out of my court for real. So your reaction, 855-839-1210, as we move forward, and we'll talk about this. On one hand, this is a judge who clearly cares. He's passionate, and I think his heart was in the right place. Did he go too far? So we'll talk about this story moving forward right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. A lot going on. We have another great interview in the next hour. More developing stories right around the corner.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is moving to Thursday, September 12th. Join Dom Giordano as he talks to Donald Trump Jr. about all things Trump. Just 2 days after the planned presidential debate. The new date, Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com. That's 1210WPHT.com.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company. Fall is approaching, and you know what that means. Football season. It's time to get in on all the action early this season with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. Let's talk NFL futures, shall we? How do we think the Birds are going to do this season? There's a ton of different player props like passing yards, touchdowns. Also, great team markets like to make the playoffs, win the division, and Super Bowl matchups. The Birds have to be at the top for all of these. And you can parlay together different picks for an even bigger payout. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. There's no better place to get ready for the football season than on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook and the official sports betting partner of the NFL. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg to sign up today. FanDuel.com/Greg. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 1210 WPHT. 21 and over, present in PA. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued does not withdraw bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms of sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering the C40 lease for 36 months for under $500 to qualified buyers. This is a really fun Volvo to drive. We also have a huge selection of certified Volvos. And what about $15,000 off when leasing a 2024 XC90 hybrid? This is an incredibly fabulous Volvo. It's the Volvo I drive. Visit us here at Cherry Hill Volvo for the attention and respect you deserve.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me, 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
For eligible individuals 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home, all done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better.
You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRA enhance.com/try. jabraenhance.com/try.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
So here's the story. The student, young lady, she falls asleep. She's a teenager. And the judge, Judge King, Kenneth King, he says, look, he's defending, he's doubling down on this. He says, okay, yeah, I had the teenager put in handcuffs and even threatened her with time in a juvie facility. She's fallen asleep. She's sassing back. She's talking back. And this is a field trip in his courtroom. And he feels disrespected and wants to make a point here. So first, let's hear the actual incident, because there is a courtroom camera of what happened.
One thing you'll learn about my courtroom is that I am not a toy. I'm not to be played with.
What started out as an informational field trip with the greeting of Detroit nonprofit Tuesday to the 36th District Court in front of Judge King.
This is the 36th District Court for the City of Detroit. We do just about everything that happens in the City of Detroit.
Quickly turned into Judge King getting visibly agitated over a sleeping student in his courtroom.
You fall asleep in my courtroom one more time, I'm putting you in the back, understood?
Judge King had her removed from the courtroom, but he told me that didn't fix her, quote, attitude. And that's when he pulled out the jail uniform and handcuffs.
Mm-hmm. That's not something that normally happens. But I felt compelled to do it because I didn't like the child's attitude.
King says he was trying to teach the teenager a lesson on behavior and respect in court.
I haven't been disrespected like that in a very long time.
He then threatened the girl with jail time.
I'm going to go to sleep tonight while you're sitting in the juvenile detention facility. Was I really going to do that? Probably not. Could I have? Probably so. But that's not what I want to do to a kid who's there on a field trip.
His methods on teaching the youth now raising questions within the legal community. Larry Dubin, a former attorney with a background in legal ethics and now a law professor, making his concerns heard.
Just totally inappropriate. There were so many other ways in which to have helped that young girl learn. I have never seen anything quite like what I saw that took place in the courtroom.
The nonprofit running the field trip tells me in a statement, quote, although the judge was trying to teach a lesson of respect, his methods were unacceptable. The young lady was traumatized by the judge's unnecessary disciplinary treatment and scolding. The judge standing by his methods, though, saying it was all just to help children from being in his courtroom later in life.
So that was my own version of scared straight.
Yeah, so that's the Detroit judge. The nonprofit, by the way, is basically, it sounds like they're a nonprofit for climate change And so trying to teach kids about climate change, but also taking them through different field trips and exposing them to different environments. So the nonprofit that sponsored this whole series, they're very upset with the judge here. Now, the judge continues, even this morning, it's making national news. The judge continues to double down and say, no, this was important. And you heard him in his own words, just doing talking to the news media, and he's saying the way that she was answering back to him, that she was simply so disrespectful. That's how he perceived her. Now, her mom is speaking out, and this is the same station, it's 7 ABC in Detroit, but they've done a good job. They're following up on it. Here's the girl's mom.
Would you want someone to treat your child like that? Would you even treat your child like that if he fell asleep in the courtroom?
Latoria Hill is a single mother of 2 children, including her oldest daughter, Eva Goodman. She signed her up for a summer program with the Greening of Detroit nonprofit to keep her busy. What was supposed to be an educational field trip to 36 District Court Tuesday turned into a traumatizing experience for both of them. Judge Kenneth King not liking Eva's
Can you just fast forward it just to the mom, Henry and Jimmy? Do me a favor, because I just want to go to where the mom, she tearfully is talking about the fact that she's a single mom, that they apparently have been living in a shelter, or they don't have permanent housing. I don't know if she's in between jobs, or, she's struggling to keep one of her jobs, but there's just one point where I'll just say it here. Mom got very emotional and said how her daughter, in front of other teenagers, was being shamed, and that her daughter doesn't really have a bed of her own to sleep in, and so she's not sleeping well. And that is heartbreaking. That truly is heartbreaking. For me, from my attitude, having learned that, and when the judge learned that, he then did reach out to the family and offered to try to help, to mentor, that sort of thing. But that goes to, you think about this economy, you think about people hurting, and the fact that it's something I haven't said in a while or reported to you, but do you know the largest number of individuals here in the city of Philadelphia who sleep in a shelter every night are children? I don't know if you knew that or not, but hundreds of Philadelphia school children who will go to school, nobody knows that they in fact are sleeping in a shelter. Home is a shelter. And so it's an issue that has been exacerbated by the current economy, by Bidenomics. And so just one more hardship to think about as this family struggles. Look at, I know some of you want to comment about it, 855-839-1210 around the corner, but I will simply say this, that my hope, my prayer is that by this happening, hopefully something good will come of it. And this young lady, this girl, as well as her mom, who became very tearful and just talked about her love of her daughter, and the mom hopes that her circumstances can change and she can, get more permanent housing. But it's really all around a sad situation. And my hope and my prayer is that this girl, her mom, will get some help and some inspiration, and maybe be an inspiration for others. But for the judge, I think in truth his heart was in the right place. And I have no doubt with this judge, he's certainly a pretty passionate person. I have no doubt that the judge will do everything he can to try to reach out to this mom, to this young lady, and really be an inspiration in their lives. Maybe help them, maybe alter the path that maybe this girl was headed for. So 855-839-1210, as we think about no place like home, the heart of the home. I can't, that's why my heart goes out to this mom, and as she, has lost a job, lost her home. That's heartbreaking, because there is no place like home. I think about my kitchen, cooking for my kids, and I'm one of those parents that'll say, do you know how blessed you are? Do you know how blessed we are? We've lived in this home. Larry and I have lived in this home, nearly, we celebrate 25 years of marriage next year. So you think about it, what a blessing that is. But then on top of it, I have to think, 25 years, how long have you lived in your home? How outdated is your kitchen or your bathroom, that wallpaper, that old countertops. So if you're tired of that dated old kitchen, or maybe that bathroom that needs a refresh, you gotta You got to give my friends at Kitchen Magic a call. They've been transforming spaces quickly, beautifully, and affordably since 1979. You know, from refacing to custom cabinets. What about the backsplash, the countertops? Yes, you can get the kitchen you want right now. Right now, they're offering 12 months, no payments, no interest financing, plus 10% off your remodel. Just schedule your free in-home design consultation today. KitchenMagic.com. KitchenMagic.com. 12 months, no payments, no interest financing, and 10% off your remodel. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Offer not valid in all states or prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to GetCash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
GetCash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to GetCash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to GetCash.com. That's GetCash.com. GetCash.com.
Tonight's 640 Phillies Nationals game can be heard on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. The Phillies are on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT tonight.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This summer, excitement starts behind the wheel of an all-electric BMW. Experience the BMW i4. That's confident, quick, and unmistakably BMW. Or feel the thrill of the electric BMW iX with its elevated design and unrelenting performance. This season's excitement starts at the electric BMW Summer Sales Event. BMW, the ultimate electric driving machine.
Visit BMW of Westchester on Route 202 for a personalized test drive today.
Turn off the financial news and turn on a great retirement. Find out how with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our Timeshare Exit Information Kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Yes, it is official, as we learned that J.D. Vance has agreed to debate Tim Walz in the Veep Stakes. So that's in the books. That'll be October for the Veep debate. Locally, oh boy, fireworks, controversy. So a meeting of the Souderton Area School Board, this is Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, this is the burbs. This meeting was abruptly canceled after parents were demanding the board address what they call a lewd comment that one of the board members allegedly made regarding Vice President Kamala Harris. So they're expressing outrage, and this has gone viral, some of the local stations covering this, but it surrounds Bill Formica, Bill, or William, as he's, his official title, but I think he goes by Bill. He, he had put out a social media post. This was on X, and he is accused of writing that Kamala Harris performed a quote-unquote sex act in response to a question about the vice president's political accomplishments. So he was absent last night, by the way, but tensions were growing, and within minutes, there were some in attendance who were really pushing for the board members to, demand the resignation or at least apologize. So it became heated. And I know that the superintendent of the Souderton Area School District, this is Frank Gallagher, said that they were not going to address it at the school board meeting. So when things started it started to get pretty heated. And then people were saying you should amend your agenda, include discussions about Formica's comments. And so at that point, they realized they weren't going to get through it. And so they said, you know what, we're going to abruptly, they're going to end the meeting because they couldn't get through their agenda. So that was what was going on. And the crowds even, I know the crowd of individuals there gathered started, the board decides to adjourn the meeting, and then there were some community members that were shouting, "Coward, coward," that sort of thing. So parents not happy, demanding some answers. So we haven't heard the outcome of this. I don't think they're going to let it go. And some people saying, "Hey, look, this was a stupid comment." Somebody, putting on X on social media. However, let's say a teacher, if it, there are standards, professional standards, so we wish that he would just, apologize for it, delete the thing if you haven't already, and let's move on because we have the start of school coming, that sort of thing. I've not seen where Bill Formica has commented. Bill, if you're listening, please call in. But they were questioning it's a whole string of people just kind of questioning her accomplishments and her policy. And then at some point there was a comment that, well, she's bleeped a bunch of dudes to get where she is, something to that effect. And it's not going over well. By the way, the next school board meeting is scheduled for August 29th. So I don't know if they're going to hold a special meeting, if they're going to release a statement. So we've been watching this and talking about this on Kale and Company since early this morning. So I just wanted to update you that they're holding some other updates on this, just saying that he needs to be held accountable. This was unacceptable language, unacceptable, social media posting, etc. So let's see where this goes. If you have thoughts on it, 855-839-1210. I imagine that Mr. Formica probably wishes he had not. Either he retweeted, and that's the other piece. I'm not sure, was it his original tweet or did he do a retweet? Can get into a lot of trouble. Greg Stocker is warning us all the time. 855-839-1210, the number to call. I'll get to Frank in the Northeast. Hey, Frank.
Good morning, Dawn.
Morning.
Dawn, today at 4:30, when former President Donald J. Trump speaks, I want to have it mention your show first. You ready? Okay? Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I lost you. I have from very credible and in the past 100% unreliable, okay? This is what he's going to say. Donald Trump will say that next week he probably will give a date, but I'm not certain. He will tell us members of his cabinet position never given before a president was elected. That will keep people talking from now till next week. I said DNC, And it'll probably do it the morning Kamala Harris is supposed to speak. That's my prediction.
Okay, so to try to make some news. Thank you. That's a good prediction. I wouldn't doubt it. There are all these swirling rumors. Will Kellyanne Conway be brought in? And we debated that. I think we debated it a little bit yesterday and a little bit this morning. Because reportedly there are some, Melania, Lara Trump, and others in the family who would like to bring in the stability and the veteran style of experience of Kellyanne Conway, because maybe they think that the Trump campaign needs a boost. And certainly Kellyanne Conway, she's a proven winner. She did a great job. I'm a big fan. New Jersey native. Will she be there today? Then Greg Stocker earlier this morning, if you heard him, he brought up the point that Kellyanne Conway, she recently, you have to file these the paperwork if you're representing somebody like, I don't know, an oligarch from Ukraine. And so she had to file the proper paperwork of representing him as a foreign agent. And so within that, we learned that she's making $50,000 a month, $50,000 a month for her, public relations or representation of this Ukrainian oligarch's charity, his nonprofit. So I'm sure that she would argue, Kellyanne Conway, that, hey, this is for a nonprofit in Ukraine, and I'm just helping to promote them and do some of their media and branding and that sort of thing. By the way, sweet deal, $50K a month. And that's just one of many gigs that she does. She obviously has a contract with, I think she has a contract with Fox News, and she runs her own company. Kellyanne Conway, before she even worked for Trump and became the first woman to ever run a successful winning presidential campaign, which, of course, the mainstream media will never say that about her. But before that, she ran a very successful media PR type company. I think her net worth, $20-some million. This is a highly successful woman at the top of her game. She did get divorced. She divorced that toad that she was married to. She didn't drop his name, though. They have 4 children together, as I digress. But in any event, so we don't know. But I like the idea. Does he name some different individuals in his cabinet? Does he name some prominent, individuals, especially women, maybe a woman from Pennsylvania? Maybe he's going to, shake things up with his campaign. Wouldn't that be wonderful? So we'll wait and see. But like I say, it's either 4 or 4:30. I'm seeing conflicting reports as to exactly when he'll begin speaking. So we want to get to all of that. So we want to talk about Oxygen, true crime. Now, for me, every day in my career, I'm covering here in Philadelphia as a TV news anchor, TV news reporter in that other career before becoming a talk show host. But I love these true crime type stories. And Oxygen's True Crime's Killer Relationship, this season 3 of Oxygen promises to be just an incredible one as we think about Oxygen season 3. I love this stuff. These, and I try to solve it, go through and track them and the detective work. I love all this stuff. Do we have a little trailer of it that we can play? Let's listen in.
911, what's your emergency?
On this season of Killer Relationship, devotion becomes deadly.
They got together and hit it off from the second they met. She fell in love with him hard. They were going to be together forever.
They were your typical all-American couple. They really loved each other.
My grandfather, he was such a loving person. Why would someone want him dead?
He was killed by the person who was supposed to love him the most and should have appreciated him the most.
Someone survived a shotgun shell to the back of the head at point-blank range.
My sister's missing. Where is she?
I could clearly see in the body. It was badly burned, appeared to be a female, pregnant.
I love him with my whole heart. Who would have done that to her?
How did a person from Texas end up in Whiskey Bay in the water, deceased?
Tell me about the last time you saw mommy.
The math ain't mathin'. This is not adding up.
So that's part of the trailer that we just wanted to give you a taste if you've never seen this great series. And so the season 3 of Oxygen True Crime's Killer Relationship with Faith Jenkins, premiering this weekend, August 17th, 8 p.m. That's Eastern Time. So I know that the season 2, I think their viewership and it's so popular. Millions of people can't wait for this premiere, and I'm so honored to be joined by Faith Jenkins, former criminal prosecutor. I mean, somebody who's walked the walk and really exploring the heart-stopping details of these murders. You know, I know in my news reporting career, Faith, welcome in and thank you for being here. I know in my news career of covering this, generally speaking, if a woman or girl is murdered, it's by somebody she knows or loves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Hi, Dawn. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the introduction so much. Yes, and that is an interesting fact that we explore in the show in detail. Growing up in the South, in Louisiana, I used to recall just, having all of these instructions about how to stay safe and keeping safe. And what people need to realize is it's really, stranger danger is true, but it's really the person, the people around you. Keep your friends close and your enemies even closer, as the saying goes. Because for the most part, these cases, when it comes to someone, especially women being killed, the first people that they turn to are the people that they are in relationship with.
Yes. And by the way, sometimes, in my experience as well, sometimes the tipster who will tip off the police. That's why, shows like this that talk about these situations and really make people, you feel like not just the investigators, but you feel like that victim. And their family. And this first one, this is a mom. But also in my experience, I have to say that a lot of times the tipster is somebody who, they remain silent. They feel compelled, maybe because of another family member, they want to remain silent. But then they finally can be persuaded, if you will, even by shows like this. I mean, have you seen that just the awareness that you raise, by doing this series, raises the awareness of the importance for tipsters to come forth, whether it's something that tragically happened recently or maybe it's an unsolved crime from decades ago?
Yes, absolutely. We have a couple of cases in the series that were cold cases. And what happens is, with the passage of time, people change their minds about their willingness to talk. It could have been they were in a relationship with someone at the time when the incident occurred, or they were fearful of retaliation or something happening to them, or they just didn't want to be involved. But with the passage of time, for whatever reason, they change their minds and come forward with information that often will lead to an arrest and someone being held accountable.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing when we, here locally and across the country. Obviously, you have such a different viewpoint now as somebody who's worked in the law and order, prosecute as a prosecutor, but also you've seen so much in your career. And then as a prosecutor, as an attorney, but now, you're becoming a star on the airwaves, if you will. I mean, this is one of the fastest growing shows of its kind, is it not?
It is, and I think it's because people everyone can relate to having a relationship in one way or another, whether it's a significant other or a family or a friend. And I think also everyone can relate to having a breakup of sorts, where you go your separate ways from someone at some point in your life. But what people can't relate to, and what they want to get more insight into, is why do people, when these relationships end, why do they feel that someone has to die? Why can't they just walk away?
Yeah.
And we explore the reasons of why. Sometimes it's greed. They have put a number. This person's life is worth $300,000 because of this life insurance policy, or it's insecurity, or it's jealousy. But what you will find is a lot of people in these cases, they haven't had so much of as a traffic ticket. They've been law-abiding citizens their entire lives, and then they commit the most unimaginable act. So I think people are intrigued because they want insight into why. Why do these relationships that are built on love and trust and start out so well end so badly?
And so do you feel like, a show like this one, it's season 3 of Oxygen True Crime's Killer Relationship with you, Faith Jenkins. Do you feel there's a piece of this that is an awareness piece, that what you're also making people aware of is the warning signs that maybe something is going awry and this is not normal?
Yes, it is awareness because we really dig deep into human experiences and extremes of behavior because it's not normal. And at the heart of it, it's about observing people, their choices, and the consequences. And that's where the awareness comes in examining all of the choices that people are making and the consequences as a result, and serving as a reminder of how far some people will go when love turns deadly.
Well, it's amazing that you're part of it. And Faith Jenkins, just really, I'm just so appreciative that you would come on, talk about it. It's something I love this stuff. I live and breathe news, news and information. But I think for a lot of people, this is also a bit of an escape in the sense that you do feel that there's some resolution and some positive energy to it as well. And do you think that that's a piece of this, that people do hear a lot of doom and gloom in the headlines and want to feel like, well, here are some solutions that are happening as well?
Yes. And what I would love for your listeners to know is that we only choose cases where we have the blessing from the family of the victim. And they are on board with us telling the story on television because for us, we want people to know their legacy is not their murder. How they died is how they lived. So for a lot of family members, Don, it's important for them to talk about it and to talk about what happened and to talk about their loved one. Now, there is the other side of it. Some family members don't want to be on TV. They don't want to relive it, and we respect that, and we move on to other cases and wish them well in their grieving process. But a lot of families want to talk about their loved one. Because, we don't showcase celebrity cases. These are not people who were in the national spotlight. They were everyday people living really seemingly normal lives. And so for the family members, it's the first time that they get a chance to talk about their loved one and who they were on a national and international scale. So it's important to them.
Well, Faith Jenkins, can't thank you enough. Can't wait. Season 3 of Oxygen True Crime's Killer Relationship with Faith Jenkins, premiering Saturday, August 17th, 8 p.m. Tune in. Faith, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me, Dawn.
Oh, absolutely. Hopefully you can come back and we'll talk more. I really, I think it's great to have, Faith as somebody who is out there and a real voice for, solving these crimes. And I think there's a lot to it. I remember, talking to, just for example, different prosecutors, judges in our region, and women and moms too. It's important to think about that from her voice as far as being a prosecutor, working within the system, and then really trying to bring some respect to victims and educate people about some of the warning signs. I've seen it too often, for sure. 855-839-1210. Really appreciate Faith coming on. Be right back.
Next week, all eyes will be on Chicago for the Democratic National Convention, and Rich Zioli will be there.
Raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Listen afternoons 3 till 7 all next week for the latest news, excitement, and drama as it unfolds. Rich Zioli live from the Democratic National Convention. Afternoons 3 till 7 all next week. Only on Talk Radio 1210. WPHT. And on the free Odyssey app.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. We all love summer, right? But the beach isn't just for summer. In fact, the beach, and in particular the Cape May beach, is just beautiful in the fall. If you haven't been to Cape May in the fall, you're missing out, and you should book your stay at the Grand Hotel of Cape May for a September to remember. The Grand offers special midweek packages so you can enjoy the beach without breaking the bank. Stay 2 nights and save 10%. Stay 3 nights, get 10% off and $55 a night in resort credits. Stay 5 nights, you're going to get 10% off and $65 a night in resort credits, and they can be used at Hemingway's for food and drink, the gift shop, and so much more. The Grand offers guest room suites and townhomes equipped with a kitchenette, and they have 2 huge heated pools, 1 outdoor and 1 indoor. I'm telling you, the Grand is my happy place, and you will not be disappointed. Book directly with them for the best rates. Book your stay today at 800-257-8550 or visit them online at grandhotelcapemay.com. And our next live show is Friday, September 6th. So book your stay today, grandhotelcapemay.com.
Hey, Ambler. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Follow us anywhere on the free Odyssey app.
So, by the way, there's this change.org petition going around calling on local board member from the suburbs, Bill Formica, Souderton area school district in Montgomery County. That backlash continues. So I'm just trying to see. It says, tell Bill Formica, is it Formica or Formica? I think it's Formica, to resign as a school board director. And this is because of his social media post that he made about Kamala Harris. I'm trying to see how many people have signed it. About 1,800, 1,848. Okay, so their goal is 2,500. But it all started with somebody saying, "Name one thing this chick has accomplished politically, just one," and it has a picture of her there. So that's how somebody started on X, on social media, and then I guess he was either retweeting or responding to that one and says she blank a lot of dudes. And so I don't think, she B-word blank a lot of dudes, and that was his comment as far as what she has done in her, career. Eek. In other news, many people like to blow bubbles with their kids, down the shore bubble machines. But so that one is sparking a lot of controversy. I don't see, and Henry, we'll have to watch for this if he's commenting at all. I had said this morning on Kale and Company, please call in. Just talk about it.
The phone lines are wide open.
Phone lines are open. You heard Henry. Henry, everybody says Henry has a dreamy voice. That's what I hear from especially women and some men. Henry has a dreamy voice. People love your voice.
Thank you. I think it's my best attribute. It's definitely suited for radio. I think I might have picked the right field.
Yeah, so it's just this thing with Bill Formica, and this. I'm sorry that this is happening. It's sad, and and we get memos from Greg Stocker, don't we? We get memos at work. He's saying, people, please, don't engage on social media. Don't say anything inappropriate. Don't say anything that your family would be embarrassed of, etc.
Yeah.
So
don't have a couple drinks and then go,
yes.
You know what, this sounds really good.
Oh,
and
see,
tweet that out.
Okay, you bring up a good point. Let's see what time. I'm trying to see what time this was tweeted out, and that's a really good because it's an old thing. It actually started back in April. This has been going on, so I don't know if it started in April, why it kind of blew up. I'm not really sure why.
It's election season. Why not?
Well, so that's a good question as far as the time. I can't, because it says 23 hours ago, because it was like in a long chain that he's responding to this. But the only thing that I will say that I said this morning, I'm not advocating that you say, sex acts about people, talk about the issues. But the only thing I will say is that if they're going to demand that a school board member resign, I think to be fair and to be equal, then have you gone through all of the email chains and social media postings of all of your board members? And has anybody else made a comment that is not professional or, not acceptable or political, what have you? What's the standard there? And so I'm not defending, that he said that. Clearly it's not appropriate, and he's a school board member, and kids are going to see this and so on and so forth. But you do have to be fair. And so if you're going to set forth standards, then hold everybody to the same standard. And that's the only thing that I'm just going to say to you. I guarantee you, if the same person had said something that was lewd or mean or whatever you want to say about Donald J. Trump, you wouldn't have a change.org petition. I will say also this: it only has 1,800. This was put up like months ago, and it's only at like 1,800.
Well, we all know
not
it's
a ton of
standard.
Yes.
If they had said this about Trump, they would have given him a raise. We all know that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so I'm all for freedom of speech, but we all have to be accountable for our speech, right? So I think it would behoove Bill to, make a statement somewhere and say, that wasn't my best moment on social media. I withdrew it, and I, would rather talk about policies and, more importantly, advocate for the children. And here's the sad part. People on the board, from what I see, even no matter what their politics, they all say, like, this is a good guy and he's a great advocate for kids and for the students and for the school. So this is really unfortunate that this happened. So the most important thing is to, do whatever you have to do to just get over with it. Get it done.
Also, I'm looking at this. I'm looking back at the tweet. I did some researching. I don't think he was tweeting at night.
Oh.
So if he was having a drink, he was having it for breakfast.
Oh. So we can't blame a Roseanne Barr or whatever, like a drunk. It's not a drunk tweet.
Can we stop getting our news from Twitter?
Thank you. So that's what we hear all the time. Greg is always warning us, and he's always, even on one time, like, I liked something. I think it was on Facebook. It was not lewd or inappropriate. It was another one. He was like, just take that down. I was like, okay.
Yeah, thank God, like, X went private, because there's sometimes when I like a tweet or something, it's like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. But thank God the likes went private, so.
Yeah, and by the way, remember the story back, and this was when we still had this Yoli show on afternoons, how the city of Philadelphia was going through all of the police officers' social media accounts and looking through all of their postings. And if anything was political, or they had conversations. Remember this? And they were all under review. And do you know what happened? So there were people who were threatened or they were suspended, and then it was all investigated. Remember, one guy had a tattoo. He was on social media, and you could see the tattoo. It was like of an eagle or whatever, and somebody claimed this was like a Nazi symbol. It was not. And there were all these people being accused of horrible things, and it was a real witch hunt. Nothing came of it, to my knowledge. I mean, as I look, but they bury the story when they finally say, years later, we concluded the investigation, and it was nothing.
Yeah, just when you forgot. Oh, by the way.
Yes.
That's over.
It's a sin. It really is. I get sick of it. So I'm so excited because next week, I think it's going to be next week, I'm going to be visiting my friends at Piazza, and I'm going to get to watch out, baby. I'm going to be driving maybe a beautiful Alfa Romeo. Ha, ha, ha.
Lovely.
I won't be speeding. I would never do that, but I'm really excited. So we got to talk about my friends at Piazza Auto Group and Piazza because it's still summertime. I know that everybody's like getting ready and back to school and all that good stuff, but summer is still here. I'm hanging on to it. There's no time like the present to get back out on the roads. And my friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're going to always help you find that luxury vehicle you've been eyeing. Piazza has thousands of these beautiful new and certified pre-owned vehicles from brands such as Mercedes-Benz, Land Rover, Jaguar, Maserati, BMW, Porsche, and as I mentioned, Alfa Romeo. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. You can stop by one of their Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or Delaware dealers. PIAZZA, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. Make sure you tell them Dawn sent you.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
The weather pattern remains pleasant for mid-August as we finish off the work week. Plenty of sunshine today, very warm but not humid with a high 88. Tonight mostly clear, comfortable with a low near 70. And another very warm day on Friday, mixture of sunshine and clouds with a high near 90.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world. Protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi everyone, Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Shed that summer vacation weight by reaching out to NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days and without any shots. NJ Diet is all natural. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then, NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in Newark, Delaware, King of Prussia, and Cherry Hill, or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Hey, Percy, we know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Remember to take us anywhere with the free Odyssey app.
So just updating the controversy that is growing after last night's meeting where people were speaking out very angry and the school board meeting was truncated. They cut it short. But this is all over the outrage by some over school board member Bill Formica, board director there, William Formica. He allegedly went on social media, posted a comment about Vice President Kamala Harris. And let's just say, maybe some of the alleged gratitude that she may have given, to men in her career to get ahead. I'm trying to paraphrase and clean it up, but his comment was deleted. He did delete it, but then people took screenshots of it, reposted it. They're calling for him to, resign and all this and that. So it's oh boy, they're up in arms over it. I don't have a comment from him. However, we might have some insight thanks to Don in Franconia. Hey, Don.
Hey, good morning. How you doing this morning, Don?
Doing great, my friend.
Great. Glad to hear that. As far as Mr. Formica is concerned,
it's Formica. Thank you.
Excuse me.
It's Formica. That's how I pronounce his name. Formica.
Right, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure of that either. I know it's Formica, so everybody can pronounce it the way they wish. But anyway, I live in that school district, and in the last, first of all, he got appointed to take the place of someone else who was previously on the school board. Her name was Donna Sheeran, who's been on your radio station more than once, and she's outstanding. And when she left to take another position, another representative for this area, he got appointed, and then he got elected. There's 9 people on the school board, and when they had the vote, he came in 9th. So he was the last one elected to the school board when he got on there. And unfortunately, he made that remark that no one should ever make.
Yeah.
But the ironical part about it is that at least he gave her credit for doing something, because we all know as vice president, she done nothing. So anyway, and that's neither here nor there. But anyway, so I didn't realize they already had the school board meeting. I thought it was coming up in 2 weeks.
Well, they are going to have the one that's an action meeting. It is still scheduled for August 29th. But they started last night, and they were trying to get through an agenda, and then people were interrupting, and they really wanted to talk about this issue. He was not present, and so now they're going to have a meeting on August 29th. So I don't see any comment from him. He did delete. I think he fairly quickly did delete the thing, but people can always take a screenshot. So that's what they did. They took the screenshot. And that's why I can't see the time exactly, and I couldn't. That's why I'm saying allegedly as well. You know what I mean? Because he's not speaking about it, and so I want to report it in a proper manner. But there are a lot of people coming out saying kind of what you said, Don, and what others have said, that it's a shame because first of all, he does a lot of financial management for the district, and people, like I say, people on kind of all sides of the political aisle have said he's very skilled at that, and you need that, and so that he works hard. And then I know some individuals with the Indian Valley Conservative Voice and some conservative groups were saying he's a great advocate for, parental rights, protecting kids, and things of that nature. So I'm hearing a lot of positives about him. So I hope he can just come out, deal with it in a proper and professional manner. It's a shame. It is a shame.
It's a damn shame.
It's a reminder to all of us. What's that, Don?
That group you referred to, the Indian Valley Conservative Group, that is a great organization. There's a young lady that runs it that's outstanding. And to be honest with you, Saturton is surrounded by every other school district that has all Democrats mostly on their school boards. And Saturton is hung strong.
Yeah.
And my understanding is the opposition to him has at least 1,200 signatures to get him removed, and that's a lot of people to sign a petition. And I just hope he survives and continues on because, like you said, he is excellent at what he does, and that's something that all school districts need, especially today with all the problems financially.
Yeah, and I appreciate your insight, Don. Thank you so much. Yeah, here's the thing I'll say about the signatures. It's on the only one I know of is on change.org, and it's up to like 1,800. However, that's anybody online anywhere. So that could be somebody, do you know what I'm saying? That could be somebody in Philadelphia. It could be somebody in California. It's not necessarily, to my understanding, a local petition that's physically a clipboard that people in that school district are signing. However, yes, I think that we could all agree that probably not his proudest moment, and from the sounds of it, does not really represent who he is, because he's somebody who's, generally speaking, I'm seeing a lot of comments from parents saying, usually this guy is a really professional guy, does a great job with the financial stuff, and so people saying they hope that this can be resolved and that it's a shame it's happening right before the beginning of the school year. So it's a reminder to everybody. Everybody has a moment where maybe you just you push like or a retweet or whatever, and it can really get you in trouble, right? And why bother? And there were certainly other ways. There are other ways that he could have expressed that. Greg Stocker had the greatest suggestion. He could have called it here, right here, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Call in. You can call in as Bob. Nobody knows. You can say whatever you like. Just so it's not cursing, obviously, and vent, if you will. And then nobody knows and you don't get fired or have to deal with the criticism. That's my take. 855-839-1210. Always appreciate you and really appreciate Kitchen Magic. They do beautiful work. They're local employers. If you're just sick and tired of that kitchen, your kitchen's just a little outdated, or maybe that bathroom, and you want to just kind of refresh it, modernize it, you got to give my friends at Kitchen Magic a call. They've been transforming spaces quickly, beautifully, and affordably since 1979 right here in our region. And they do everything, refacing, custom cabinets, backsplash, the counters. And yes, you can get the kitchen you want now. Right now, they're offering 12 months, no payments, no interest financing, 10% off your remodel as well. So 12 months, no payments, no interest financing, plus that 10% off the top. Just schedule a free in-home design consultation. That's included. Put this on the calendar, kitchenmagic.com. Kitchenmagic.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey everyone, it's Donald Trump Jr. Join me and Dom Giordano Thursday, September 12th at the Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey for the next Politics and Pints with WPHT. We will talk all things Trump, the 2024 election, and my father's book, Letters to Trump. South Jersey and PA suburbs are hugely important to electing Donald Trump president. Just head to 1210WPHT.com for tickets right now. Hope to see you there.
I am Judith Krupnik, president of Terrio Volvo. I drive an absolutely fabulous XC90 hybrid, the best of both electric and internal combustion. It's really an incredible Volvo. We are offering a $15,000 discount when leasing any 2024 XC90 hybrid in stock. If ever an XC90 was on your list, now is the time to visit Cherry Hill Volvo. $15,000.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Football season is approaching. It's time to get in on the action early this season with FanDuel. They have all your favorite NFL futures bets. I see Philadelphia winning a playoff game this year. At least that's the NFL futures bets. They have tons of them. Passing yards, TDs, rushing, receiving totals. You can do all that. And right now, new customers, you get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. There's no better place to get ready for football season than on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook and official sports betting partner of the NFL. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
We have a man who's a warrior, a great military person. Dave McCormick is a 7th-generation Pennsylvanian who grew up in Bloomsburg, went to West Point, and earned a Bronze Star for his service in the First Gulf War. Dave went on to an outstanding career in business, and now he's fighting for the people of this Commonwealth, and he loves this Commonwealth.
Conservative Dave McCormick.
We need new leadership. We need a new president in the White House that's going to get our country back on track. We need a new majority in the Senate that's going to be able to take our country in the right direction. Dave will vote to secure your borders, stand up to China, unleash incredible amounts of Pennsylvania energy, and he wants to stop Bidenflation. David McCormick, you have my total support and my total endorsement, and you got to win. Dave McCormick.
I'm Dave McCormick, and I approve this message.
Paid for by friends of Dave McCormick. www.davemccormickpa.com.
Your 401k goes up and down. That's fine when you're 40, but not when you're 60. Find out how to protect your hard-earned money. Tune in to the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. 1210 WPHT.
In the headlines, a cyber criminal group calling itself US DOD apparently uploaded a large database titled National Public Data to a dark web forum. They're trying to sell it for $3.5 million, and it contains billions of Americans' personal data, including social security numbers. Very concerning. So cybersecurity experts speaking out about that and say that some of the data records are duplicates. So, but still, even if it's, so they're saying 3 billion people, so maybe it's only 2.5 billion, still a lot of people. So maybe, you know, watch for that. Always got to protect your information. In other news, I don't know if you know this guy or like him or follow him. I do. Kevin O'Leary. He's a financial guru. He's the investor who you see on Shark Tank. He's like the bald white dude who wears 2 watches, and he's on Shark Tank. Listen to what he's. What's that?
two watches with red bands.
Red bands. I don't know why, but I guess it makes Henry and Matt DeSantis crazy.
Yeah, it makes Matt's skin crawl. If you bring up the name Kevin O'Leary, he gets physically angry.
Well, here's what he has to say about the financial, what would you say, the financial expertise of one Governor Tim Walz.
I didn't know anything about the VP candidate, Tim, and so I did some digging last week. I got the data last Friday. He is not a good manager. If you look at his stewardship of his state, Minnesota, it's been not good. And I'll tell you how I measure it. People say, oh, you're partisan. No, I'm not. I'm looking at the track record of an individual who came into a state and wiped out job creation. He wiped out job creation in professional, in manufacturing, in accounting, in every subcategory you look at. Those jobs moved to South Dakota and North Dakota. The South Dakota job rate right now is 4 times that of Minnesota. Minnesota only creates jobs in services that are funded by the government, healthcare and social services. Every other sector is in decline. He's also added a surcharge of 1%, 100 basis points, on top of 9.8% taxes on individuals that are retiring. And of course they're leaving the state in droves. And he's the best governor for Texas, for Florida, for North and South Dakota, but not for Minnesota.
And that's exactly right. That's where they all went.
So that's the kind of detail that we need in the headlines. And I had seen that Kristi Noem had said, that's right, Mr. Wonderful is his nickname. Governor Walz has been horrible for businesses and people in Minnesota. That's why so many Minnesotans have moved to South Dakota, which obviously she's the governor of South Dakota, and he had praised South Dakota. But you think about the policies of somebody like Governor Walz and why he's had population loss, why people are leaving, and then think about the policies that would further tax especially senior citizens, retirees. That's the kind of meat that you want in a campaign, something that should be more in the headlines instead of talking about silly stuff that does not matter. Am I right here? So I love this guy. I love when he's doing a deep dive into the numbers and saying, well, what has Walz supported? We need to do more of that right now with Kamala Harris. When we think about her policies, what did she support when she was a senator from California? She was known as the at the time the most liberal senator, liberal progressive in the Senate. She was the number one, lefty, if you will. Her policies, nutty policies. But then also, we did talk about this earlier in Kale and Company, and I'll just circle back to something, Jen Psaki circle. We can never say circle back again without thinking about Jen Psaki, but something that we talked about briefly this morning and on Kale and Company, and that was, thinking about Kamala Harris, her policies, and how she's just trying to make everybody forget what she believed in. So I'm running out of time, and I know Dom Giordano has an incredible interview with one of the Trumps and is very excited about it. So excited, in fact, that Big Dan, ran out and got donuts for everybody. So I have a chocolate donut here. Jimmy, and what flavors did you guys get?
I got the chocolate glaze over here. Can't
you got chocolate. That. Jimmy, what did you get?
Well, I get a blueberry donut. Donuts.
So, Dom, we'll be eating donuts while listening to you and all your great...
Well, Dan should have brought in Oysters Rockefeller for everybody. I told him to do that.
Oh, man.
It's around lunchtime. Absolutely.
I'd rather have a chocolate donut. So what's coming up?
So we have, we think President Trump will talk today about going to jail when the sentencing happens. Yeah. We have Paulina Abba, who is one of the lead attorneys, Dawn by happenstance, coming on today.
Wonderful.
Could that actually happen? Andy McCarthy says yes. And Eric Trump at 2 o'clock, particularly the Secret Service report on the breastfeeding at a post for Trump's speech in North Carolina, if true, is pretty outrageous.
It sure is. What a bunch of boobs in the Secret Service.
Yes.
Bump.
Yeah.
Great